Hello, welcome back to another video. This is for autumn because you wrote me on Instagram and you asked for a hibiscus tutorial. So here is what we're gonna make today. Let me show you what we're gonna use. So when you're choosing a piping tip, what's most important is gonna be the size that you wanna use. So we could go as big as this, which is, hold on. This size of flower was created from this piping tip because it does shrink quite a bit. Or if you're making something like this, you could use either this one or this one. I will show you, I think I'll show you on this one because ultimately, because it's all about the shape that you're piping. And I already have a couple hibiscus here, so I'm not going to use the biggest tips today. You could, of course, make a teeny tiny one, but this is a super simple flower, so I'm really excited to show you because I can make this. The only thing that's going to make this a little bit different from a lot of flowers that we do is that I'm going to be using a piece of wire. Now, I bought my wire from Amazon. It's, I don't even know what gauge it is, but it comes in these really long pieces and it has paper on it. So it's like a white paper. So you just clip it with wire cutters, and I already have mine here pre-cut. So I'm just gonna use some of these. I also use them for my new version of lilies. I have not gotten around to making a bunch of tutorials lately because my hard drive is not working right now and a lot of content is on there. So I am going to make what I can for you today, and then if you need more tutorials from me in the future, you can ask. All right, so I am going to use this paint, and I don't remember where it comes from. I'm pretty sure there's some clear mixed in there, but since I don't need this for a specific flower, I am going to go ahead and use it. By the way, the tip that I'm using today is a 127. The most important thing to consider is that you have a teardrop shape, like an elongated teardrop shape. So it's going to be thicker towards the center of the flower and thinner towards the outside. That's what's going to give you those beautiful ruffles like a hibiscus has. So this is a simple 5-petal flower. The trick is that you're going to basically leave no gaps here in the middle of the flower, okay? It's gonna be round and it's gonna have some ruffles, and then you're just gonna come back in and try to get all the petals to meet right here in the center. You might have to practice this a couple times to get them symmetrical. I still get them a little asymmetrical sometimes. All right, this one's not looking so great. Sorry, guys. This is embarrassing. Okay, so ignore this petal right here. Smooth, real smooth. Let me just go ahead and get more paint and I will show you some more. But since we have this one done so far, why don't we go ahead and make sure we close that center very carefully. And then you're just going to stick your wire right in there in the center. And it's up to you how tall you want your stamen to be. So now we're just going to move this one off to the side. And I'm going to make another one that hopefully looks a little bit better. All right, let's try this again. Hopefully this time my 5 petals will look actually like a proper flower. Now don't worry, let them overlap a little bit here and there. That's kind of what gives it the hibiscus look, okay? There we go, that one looks good. Then just take your wire and set it right there in the middle to dry. And then, I'm not sure, I haven't decided if I am going to do the stamens in this video or if I'm just going to teach you how to pipe in this video. By the time I post this, I'll have figured it out. Since I have too much paint, let's go ahead and make another, why don't we? So you can basically see it's really, really easy. It's a simple 5-petal flower, and you want to make sure that they come together in the middle, and you want to have a wire to set as a stamen right in the middle. Beautiful. And if you're going to be shipping these, you can just bend the wire down and then tell your customer when it arrives, if they feel comfortable, they can just go ahead and straighten that wire out. Be careful, because as you know, if you bend wire too many times, it can just break. But once or twice, like just after shipping, should be totally reasonable. All right, I'll see you back in the next part. We are absolutely doing the stamens in this video. So I am using a tip number 13. It's from Wilton, and it's pretty tiny, so it's really easy to insert that wire part right into the tip. And then once you kind of pull it out, and this is where the paper is super helpful, the fact that the wire is covered in paper, because it really sticks to the paint. And then I add like a little 5-point tip to the stamen to really bring that super textured tip of a hibiscus stamen to life. So you can see I kind of just, there's a couple different things you can do. You can just use the piping tip number 13 and just pipe a blob, because it's already kind of a star shape. And then you can also do what I'm doing here, which is basically just exaggerating the points that I've already made by leaving extra dabs of paint. And you can see here I'm adding just this little extra bit of paint. So after I cover the wire, I go down to where I want the center of the flower to be, and I make it look like the stamen is even longer. And part of the reason I do this is because a lot of times hibiscus, when you see them from the side, it's kind of where the most impact is. And also it's easier for shipping. And then of course, afterwards, to make these hibiscus really, really pop, you can come in with some, I'm using quinacridone red. It's my favorite color right now. I'm just so obsessed with it. I keep using it everywhere. And just gently brush it into where you want that petal to look even more deep. So think about it like contouring. If you're into makeup at all, you're familiar with contouring, using it to create shadows and making things look deeper and more set back. This is the same idea. So the more you use in the center, the more the flower is going to be extra three-dimensional. And of course, it just makes it look more beautiful. So I hope you guys really enjoy this tutorial. I know it's a little rough and tumble, and I know my flowers aren't the most perfect. Yes, I know. But I was trying to get it out quickly, and I'm trying to make some more content. So I'm trying not to be too careful about how everything turns out and just try to create things for you guys since my arms are working. So yay, this is pretty cool. This is my first tutorial that I've done in a while. I hope you guys love this video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Happy hibiscus making.